Welcome back to my channel. We're working on the RT 440 Skiroule 1973. We'll be taking apart the chain case today. We'll be taking the drivers out, the track, the suspension. We're going to leave the skis in. I'm pretty sure we'll just leave those in over there. We'll drain the chain case out. And what else we're going to do? Well, I'll probably inspect the gears, the chain on it. Yeah, I'll teach you a trick how to strip the alignments off the drivers and the rear idler wheels in the back here. So yeah, we'll dive right into it. Alright, so we'll be taking off this plug right here. This is the fill plug. You fill it up to your chain case oil up to this level in here. So you pop this puppy off. A better way of trying to take that oil out is using a syringe. Try to suck as much as you can out with using this. I mean, if you don't have one, you can just open it up and drain it, but it's up to you. This one I don't really care because I'm washing it. Oh yeah, look at that. It already has oil coming out of it. It looks dark. Alright, so we'll suck out some of this. Hopefully the syringe works. There we go. Yeah, take a look at that oil. It is black. Squirt it into this nice clean container. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. It hasn't been changed in many years, so we'll suck all this out. Alright, so with a 1/2-inch ratchet, you gotta take off all these bolts all the way around. It's gonna be a little messy, but that's alright. Take them off all slowly. It's gonna probably drain the last little bit of oil in it, but what can you do? Alright, so the chain case's cover is off. We got the chain, we got the tensioner, we got the top gear, we got the lower gear on the drive shaft, or with the drives the track. So what you want to do is you want to take the cotter pin out. We got to take this nut out. Probably release the tension on this too at the same time. You just got to use a screwdriver. Let's go, or even anything. There you go. It's that easy. This actually looks really good inside. It's very clean, which is shocking for how old it is. Oh, look at this. And find any goodies that you find at the bottom of the belly pan. There you go. Found a screwdriver laying down there. Sweet. So we'll take off the cotter pin, the nut. There's a snap washer. I already took mine off because it's a pain at the very bottom gear right down here. And everything just should slide right off. So we'll get right into it. Also to note, another thing is this bearing on this top gear that goes right into here. Check that bearing out, make sure it's not, I mean there's always a little bit of play because it's a needle bearing, This one looks in real nice shape still, like there's not too much playing at all. I'm going to reuse these because these are super expensive to find. If you can find them. They're hard to find, they're a weird bearing. And there's also the same kind of bearing on the inside, right in up and behind this clutch here, behind a seal. Same kind of bearing like this. Usually these ones don't fail. It's usually the ones inside here, but it's not that common. I got a couple of these new old stock ones. I remember I had to buy one. I think it was like 40 or 60 bucks for just one. They're not cheap and they're hard to find. Okay, since I got the chain case cover and bolts and whatever gears out, I tipped it on its side. I'm going to take the suspension out, the slide suspension in here. So there is one bolt there, there's one bolt on the other side. And in the worst possible spot, I don't know if you can see that or not, there should be a bolt like down here. I can't really get in there. Oh, yeah, it's hard to see, it's dirty in there, but there's a bolt back there. Same with the other side, on the other side of the sled. So you got to get those out and get the suspension out. Then you got to take these shocks off. Usually it's just easier to take this bolt off on right here on the same shaft as either wheel on the other side too. And this thing should just slide right out. Try to wiggle it out. The whole thing will just drop right down the whole track. You can get it out. Then you can get getting your drivers out, which is a very fun situation if it's seized up or anything. But yeah, I'll set up the camera here and try to get the best angle. So loosening off the track would probably be the ideal first thing to do here. So we'll take a 5/8 socket that goes under here. I'm going to put a crescent wrench on this guy. Loosen this one up because this is keeps the bolt from sliding back and forth. So we can loosen this guy and it loosens the whole track or tightens it up. He tightened up and he put this nut, tightened this nut up and it tightens up. Keeps the track from loosening off or tightening up or whatever. So we'll loosen this guy off first before we do anything. If I can. Alright, so to loosen this track up, I got the tensioners loosed. Sometimes I don't like to loosen off, so I grab a rubber mallet and I just give it a whap in the behind it. There. It's pretty tight right now, so it's probably as best we're going to get. Alright, so I got all 4 bolts out from the chassis that holds the suspension in. I didn't snap any bolts. They're always common to snap them. Which is, I thought I almost snapped one, but it didn't. It just made a big loud thunk noise. Someone put anti-seize on the bolts, so I was quite lucky there. So we're going to take off the axle bolts that go inside for the idler wheels in the back here. They take a 5/8 bolt, and I'm going to have to put a wrench on the other side. This is going to be interesting because I'm spinning the whole shaft. So let me grab a 5/8 wrench. Alright, so we got, well, the one bolt out. I got this shock still in here. That bolt right there is stuck. I can't get it out. So I'm going to have to put it on a vise or something. I tried using a pair of vice grips on the other side of the shaft there. Couldn't get it out because I got the other shock out, the bolt. Can't get this one. That's okay. I've had that issue before. These shocks will slip right through this gap, right between there. You could slide them out. That's all right. We could take this out still. So you can pull this entire track out. Get you up there. Hopefully get most of this. So we'll pull this entire track out. Take the vice grips off that I forgot to. There we go. Oh boy. It's usually easier with two people. Alright, so putting a track at 90 degrees of the sled like this and the suspension loosens the track up and it makes it easier to pull the suspension out. It's the same thing trying to put this suspension back in. It makes it easier to put the bolts in, the front bolts in first. Get those both sides done. Then you swing it around and put your other bolts in and put the shocks in. That makes it easier. I do it that way, I found out. Putting this track at 90 degrees of the sled. So we got that out. The only thing we got left is the drivers to take out. Whew, it's easy to do with two people. So yeah, we'll get this drivers out of here in the shaft. Alright, so flipping the sled onto the other side, we are going to take off the bolts, 3 bolts and 3 nuts. That holds the one side in. Take that off. It's 1/2 inch. And we've got to put a wrench underneath here. Take that out. And this whole shaft should slide in. Which way does it go? I think it slides in this way. Then you can pull it out. Can't remember. But I'll set you guys up on the other side here so we can see what we're kind of do. It's hard to get an angle in these tight spots. Alright, with my new standy screwdriver here I got here, we're going to have to pop out a plate down here. There's a metal plate bearing holder here. We're going to pop that down so we can order to get everything out of here. There we go. This guy right here. So we should be able to fight this thing for the next hour, trying to get this out of here. I don't remember which way it goes. It goes. Might have to grab a mallet. Alright, so on the chain case here, down here, there is a rubber O-ring there, or a seal. And it's been there for 50 years, so I kind of forgot to mention this. You take a heat gun and you try to heat that up a little bit to give it a little more rubbery. Then you can make this a little easier to get out, because that's probably what's holding this whole entire axle. It is a hard seal, so I got a heat gun here. That'll heat it up.
So we got it out. You got to pull up. Ow, that hurt my hand. You got to pull it up. Just heating this seal right here on the bottom of the chain case. You got to pull out of the chain case and lift up, and it's a pain, but we got it. That definitely hurt. Alright, so we got the whole sled stripped pretty much. The only thing left is the rear bumper, the skis, the front bumper, and the chain case, and the secondary clutch, but we're going to leave that all there. I don't feel like dealing with that, taking that off and putting it back on, and it's a pain. If you're doing a full restoration, yes, you would do that, but I'm not. So I'm just going to wash it and get parts for it and rebuild the motor, reseal it. It was a running sled anyways. I got a bunch of parts. But yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out with RTXs and RTs and lasers and ultras and whatever Skiroule or other sleds are out there familiar or similar to this. So yeah, we got this rear shaft out. Someone's been in here before, I noticed. Because someone replaced the drivers. These bolts, these are not, they have a split pin in there. These have a new nuts and bolt in here already on the drivers, used ones. So somebody, oh yeah, you can see this one's broken right there, so I gotta find a new replacement. So somebody's been in here and replaced this stuff. I wonder if they replace these bearings. Oh, it has very little play. This one's good. Someone's been inside here, so I gotta find a new driver. These, I'm just gonna not reline these at all. I'm gonna put them back on. But there's a way to strip these off, and I'll definitely show you guys how to do that. So we'll get this all apart. We gotta pull the bearing off on one of these sides. I'll probably pull both bearings off because I gotta replace them. These bearings are cheap. These are very easy bearings to get, so they're nice and cheap. Might as well replace them since you're here. And yeah, the only thing that's going to be tough are these seals right here. I'm having a hard time trying to find some, especially with this COVID right now. The supplier right now in Canada, they're shut down, and I'm having a hard time trying to find a match. It's just a pain. I gotta go back into Napa and find out if they found any. Or a transmission shop, maybe they might have something too. But yeah, we'll take this all apart, and I'll show you guys an easy way to strip these. So I got the drivers off the axle, and both are damaged. Not for me, they were damaged already. There was only one bolt holding each one in, barely. So clearly somebody changed these out at one point. There was only one bolt on each side that were barely holding on. And the axle is a little beat out of file it down. There's something stuck in here, chunk of metal. And there's a little bit of chuck stuck in there too, the old split pin. That's hole looks like it's been drilled out or something, so I might have to look for a different axle and different drivers. I should have something in the back, I hope. Alright, so after 14-15 hours being submerged in acetone with the idler wheel. I don't know if the idler might have to sit in there a little longer, but this is what happened to the driver. It just disintegrates the, what do you want to call this stuff, the liner. Just peeled it right off. Like, it's insane. It's only been in there for like 14-15 hours or something like that. Usually I would leave these in for 2 days, and this one's completely, it was broken up already. Usually if you throw one like this in here, it'll start to separate actually. This one just crumbled apart. So yeah, if you use acetone instead of trying to peel this stuff off or cut it off, it just makes it so much easier. You can just pop it off right off the bare metal and just wire wheel it or sandblast it and send it off to get relined. I got a guy in the States that does it relining. His name is Rick Weaver. You can find him on Facebook and stuff, on the vintage sled groups. He does a whole bunch: Skiroule, snow jets, I don't know what else he does. Snow cruisers, OMC stuff, probably rumps. I don't know what else he does, but yeah, I guess the Skiroule one's done pretty nicely. So yeah, I'm gonna let this stuff. I don't know if this one's gonna peel off. I got another idler right here that needs to be peeled off. It's broken up. I don't know if this acetone will peel it off. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna leave it in there probably for another day or so and see what happens. Hopefully it works. So yeah, that'll probably be the end of the video for me. Thanks for watching. I noticed that on my that 97% of viewers on my channel are not subscribed. So if you're watching this, I'd really appreciate if you guys subscribed. 97% of you are not subscribed watching everything, so it'd be kind of cool if you could subscribe and maybe hit the like button. That'd be great. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.